How's it going, guys? My name's Lee and I'm going to be starting a video tutorial series for how to draw in very easy steps, or so I think they are easy. So as you can see on the screen, we're going to start with the number 1. First video number 1. Kind of funny how it works, but anyways, that's not the point right now. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with drawing out this shape. Now how we draw it out, I'll be teaching you that in just a sec. So we're going to go ahead and erase that right away. As I'm erasing and kind of getting my stuff ready, I just want to get you guys to know, if you guys want to follow this video series, it would honestly help you a lot if you know about women's various body types and shapes, as well as basic human anatomy. So without further ado, let's get us started. Alright. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to find kind of the center of the one I drew over here, and I'm just going to bring it down like so. And I'm going to bring it to the edges of the bottom here, as well as just kind of, this one's a bit harder to see. I'm just going to be taking the inside part of the one right over here, and from there I'll be connecting it to the top joint over there. So if I take my brush tool, kind of click right here and join it up there, like so. Now we can get rid of the one that we have recently drew. This is kind of pathetically dim, but I kind of hope, just in case it doesn't show up too well, we're going to duplicate that, merge together. Alright, so what we're going to do is we are going to take this big segment right over here. Oops, I'm kind of going a little fast right now, so I'm not in the best position to be drawing, but whatever. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to take this segment and we are going to split it in half. So just find the middle. You don't really need a ruler, you can just eyeball it, but if you're not too confident about that, then use a ruler as you may wish to, or whatever. Now once you split that in half, you're going to take this part and the other part and split those parts in half as well. Alright, once that is done, you're basically just going to take your tip over here and bring it down here. Now what that does is that if you mirror it, you get a lovely little diamond shape that roughly looks something like so. Actually, wait, I'm just going to fix that a little bit. There we go. Like so. And with this basic shape, you get already enough information to start drawing outlines of what you want your shape to be. So before we get into all that, I'm just going to point out a few things. So this point right here, this is where the rib cage kind of dents inwards, like so. Then you know how it just goes back out. This point right over here indicates roughly where the pectoral muscle is, and this point roughly indicates where the belly button is. The reason why I'm using the word roughly for everything I'm pointing out right now is because the human body was never perfect. When you look at magazines and you go, whoa, her body is so perfect, it's so well proportioned and everything is always at the same spot. Well, that's basically more Photoshop than the actual thing. But enough of that, let's get on to the tutorial. So what I'm going to start doing is I'm basically going to indicate a little line at the center here. Now this center line right over here only works for women. Only for women. Why? You will find out in a few seconds. Alright, so we're going to draw along this line, so I'm going to switch layers and brush color, of course. Oh my gosh, this is very pathetic. Let's raise the opacity. Okay, there we go. And what we're going to do is once you reach kind of this section of the diamond shape, you kind of want to gently fall inwards, like so. Excuse me. Sorry for all of you headphone users. I probably just killed your ears. Really sorry about that. And something roughly kind of like this. Where this part goes according to down here, sadly I'm afraid I don't have any kind of wizard tricks to teach you that, but I guess you could say it's basically going this way. It would be the first third, and then you have like the two other ones, and the last one would be the center line. But yeah, other than that, I don't really have much of a trick. But you don't need to worry. With time and experience, everything's gonna be alright. So once you have this general kind of shape, you want to remark your center line. What I can teach you that's really awesome is the shoulders. What I normally like to do for women is I just kind of arch it down. And in this little space right here, I'll draw a circle. And this circle will indicate my shoulders. This is really not too symmetrical, but these are just guidelines. These are just to help you get the basic idea of how the shape works and how to quickly achieve what it is you're going for. So what I like is already from here, if I were to start drawing, as soon as I hit this awesome part right here of the rib cage, I could basically right away just point outwards like so, and I would have my lovely lady curvatures. Like so. And that's pretty much it for the woman. I'll be teaching how to draw breasts in the second tutorial, but for now this is all I've got to teach. Now then, let's move on to the guys. So I went ahead for the guys and already drew our basic shape from earlier. And what we're going to do with this basic shape is we are going to draw over it. So first of all, we're going to lower the opacity of this and get rid of our 1 because we already have our 1 shape in here. And what I'm going to do is pretty much the same thing. However, remember where I said that only use this for the women's? Well, this section I'm actually going to split it to the first third or so. First third, first quarter, that kind of area. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to arch it down right away. Kind of create, not too narrow, more kind of a equalish, I don't know, my English is very poor, but an equal everywhere triangle, where whatever you call that in English. I think it's equilateral in English as well, whatever. And you're just gonna come in and draw a very mawkish, maquette-ish rib cage, call it whatever. Like so. We're just going to erase the excess we no longer need now that you have a shape done. If ever I'm going too fast, don't feel obliged to wait and start over the whole video. I mean, you could just pause. You're not going to miss too much. Alright, so here we go. We know our little belly buttons around here. I should know it's lower, but whatever. And now we're going to indicate the pec muscle. So pec muscles are always kind of like a weird triangle, half almond type of shape. And what I like about that is that when it stops kind of around here, that's because that's your shoulder, so you don't need to go any further. I just like to draw the shoulder muscle, roughly, for the guys, which is kind of a, if I drew it in a very rough shape, kind of an awkward pizza slice, I just round it up. And same thing goes for the other side, like so. You could indicate abs, but that's going to be for another video. Now, getting down to the hip line. I'll be frank right away. Men do not have such wide hips. Not for the majority part of the time. So we're going to erase some of that off, just so it can kind of align a little tiny bit inside the furthest point of the rib cage, but not by too much. And with this, we're just gonna kind of indicate bone, and there you go. So you have your general man shape. Oops. So I'm just gonna draw on top of it with a darker brush, just so we get more of a finalized shape. You could add a bit of meat. Adding meat will just change the curvature of what your silhouette will look like. And basically, that's basically pretty much about it. For what it is of the... When it's a skinny guy, I mean, I just draw the inside of the lower pec, because you know, you don't need to go with too much details. You could, if you want, indicate a bit of a rib. You know, say you really want a super skinny guy or something, and you'd have the belly button. So when I get rid of these layers, you see your man shape a lot more. We're just gonna go ahead and bring this back and draw the shoulders as well, just so we have a bit more of a complete shape, and also so you can have a better idea of what everything looks like roughly when you're going to be done. So something roughly like so. And that would be your general skinny guy. If you don't like the way how the bottom looks, that's easily fixed. You could just erase, and just gonna change my section up a bit. After you erase, you know, just kind of make things a bit wider if you want. It's a bit too wide though. Something more so like this. So I can then just gonna link this up and erase the excess that we do not desire. Something more or less like so. And if you're wondering if this these techniques really or don't work, I kind of went ahead earlier and with proper shading. So right here I basically drew a bit more of a muscular guy. And with proper shading you could really achieve something decent, you know. You don't have to just be bound to this and that's all I have to work with. If you look at what I did under everything here, see I have my main shape like I drew earlier. If I put in the 1, it's according, and I just drew on top on one layer, something I don't really like doing too much, but kind of race against the clock, and I got all this done in just 20 minutes, because this is actually not the first time I'm trying to do this tutorial. Alright, so this is pretty much it. So we're going to zoom out. And that's it for today's tutorial. In the next tutorial, I'm going to show you how to draw breasts. Various methods, but we're going to be using the easiest one we can get. And that's about it. Thank you very much for watching, and see you guys next time.